So, not another vape show.
Nope.
Although we will be vaping.
Probably. Some of us more than others. I was very short compared to you when I sit down like that.
Your legs on torso.
Pretty much.
So, what are we doing today?
We are making Christmas presents for my boyfriend's mom and my mom. What we're going to be doing is Mod Podging pictures to a wooden canvas. I'm going to be showing you how to do that today.
Okay. So is this the Mod Podge glue?
Yes, it is. And this is a picture of, we're starting with my boyfriend's mom's. So it's a picture of us three. And so pretty much I guess everything you'll need is a picture. Doesn't really matter what size. We're doing 8x10s with our wooden canvas. You can make a wooden canvas. We just went out and bought one. So this is what that looks like.
Wooden canvas.
Yeah. You'll need Mod Podge. We decided to get the matte finish.
So do we need to sand this like glass smooth?
Oh, no.
So it can be kind of just wood.
Well, I mean, like, we're making it look like it's a part of the wood anyway.
True.
And I think that'd be fine. Don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And then you also need, we're using a sponge brush, but I've seen other people use like paint brushes. You'll need your vape. And if you decide to sand down the edges, which we're going to, you'll need a sander. You can either use one of the electric red ones or just one of those.
Hand sander.
And then, a plate to pour your Mod Podge on because our sponge brush is too big to go into the little dealie. And you'll need a Dr. Pepper. Or I guess Mountain Dew. So yeah, I guess let's just get started.
Okay. I'll pour.
Yes, ma'am.
It doesn't look like you really need all that much.
No.
With what you're going to do on the top, we'll go with a generous amount.
Okay.
That was more generous than I meant to be.
And so it dries clear too, so you can get it where you're not putting the picture and whatnot.
Well, they were, from what I saw, you want to do the whole wood so that you seal it.
Yeah.
So you just kind of
You need like a lot of that.
cover the whole thing. Oh yeah, with that being rough as it is, it's going to be more porous and suck up more glue. Now there's the ones where you can flip it upside down and then wait and let it dry, and then you can rub the white of the back of the picture off. We're not doing that.
We're cheating. I honestly think this way's pretty cool because for one, it's not as difficult, and for two,
You think it would be more durable? Because the other way, you're just basically taking the ink and you're rubbing the paper off.
Right.
So it'd be more fragile to like scratches and stuff.
Right. Pretty excited though. Huh?
Gotta hurry.
I'm trying. Why don't you go get a...
You gotta finish before it dries.
That kind of was a pervy joke. You gotta finish before she dies.
What she's saying is you have to keep it wet.
Yep. You gotta keep it wet.
Can't move the plate. It's stuck.
Don't get your bracelets into it either. Yeah, I'm just kind of coating this whole deal here. I guess if you have porous wood, you need more.
It sucks it up.
Okay. And that's
I
good.
would do this edge. And right there. And
Right,
then,
right here?
yep, you should be able to see it. I'm going to do the picture. I'm going to do the back picture.
Oh yeah.
Show 'em what
And you need somebody who knows what they're doing.
So you do both, so you have plenty of glue.
Yeah.
Nice thing about it is it's not like Elmer's glue where it's super sticky.
Yeah, it goes on pretty smooth, honestly.
And then a lot of them show if you wipe it up before it dries with just water and soap or water and a rag. Wait till it dries, it just rubs off anyway.
Mm.
You know, like the gloves you used to make in elementary school out of Elmer's glue.
And you're going to go over the top of the picture to seal it anyway, so if you get some on it beforehand, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Nope.
It does smell like Elmer's glue, though.
It's watered down Elmer's glue. You want to center it or wherever you're going to put it. Like if you're going to do like 4 or 5 smaller pictures, you just put them where you want them. Looks pretty good. Hopefully that's the top. There you go. And then, yep, just kind of push it out with your thumbs from center to the out. Get it all stick.
Canvas numero dos. Oh, is that going to be a machine?
Covered most of that.
Take the tags off so it makes it look like you actually made it.
It's all homemade, Mom.
Yep, I made all of it. No, one time
Band camp?
I stuck a flute. No. Where should we put this?
Well, first clean up that mess.
So hold on. This. Getting stuff done. No, when I was in high school, I was in like this home ec class. It was like, well, it was a sewing class. And they were making these, like cloth keychains. And, the one, and we were doing it for like a fundraiser type of deal. The ones that our teacher decided weren't good enough to sell, we could give to our families. And I thought this girl's was so good that I took it home to my mom, and I told her I made it. And then like 3 years later, I was like, by the way, my classmate made that. And she's like, what the hell? I could tell people that you made it. I'm like, you can still tell people that. I'm just telling you the truth.
Another picture, is it curved?
Uh-huh.
Just kind of pressing down this edge because it's kind of curling for some reason.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as bad, honestly.
What if you try to reverse roll it?
Like this.
Well, not the whole thing, just the edge.
Just like this.
Oh yeah, the edge that's curled over it, this right here. Just roll it the other way just a little. Just like,
I'm having issues.
tighter like this.
You like it tight? We should put an age restriction on our channel.
Well, it's not like you're actually seeing, and if you're not old enough to get it, you're not going to get it.
There you go. That's better, isn't it?
There's no innuendos here.
Nope. But we got you have glossy, satin, and matte finish. We got the matte, so that it doesn't look like it's an actual picture. It looks like it's actually a piece of the wood, and that way it wouldn't make the wood glossy either. If that makes any sense, I guess.
Clear as mud.
Clear as mud, I guess. Oops.
Set this over here to dry some more.
Our wooden canvases were like $5 at Walmart, and I paid like less than $8 for both of these 8x10 pictures. And Walmart has got all sorts of different wooden canvases that you can get to. So Yeah, big variety. So this is gonna dry before I even get this way.
Nope.
Sure.
Yep. Oh, you just took it.
So should we go over the day that we had today, Keith?
Nope.
Why?
We're just gonna forget it happened.
So,
This is about Mod Podging,
but we did a.
even though your car is Mod Podged.
Anyway. We did another project earlier today. We should have videoed that so that I had it on evidence that you broke my car.
Didn't break it.
Temporarily disabled it.
So off subject, if you have a car that has an anti-theft system,
Don't
hook it
mess
to
with the
fuses.
fuse box. Just don't.
We disabled her car.
Yeah, Miss Pearl thought that we were trying to steal her. And she completely shut down. Won't start. Doesn't even recognize that Mickey's in the ignition. Nothing. Can't listen to music. But you can take their stereo out, and it doesn't care. Take the stereo, just don't take the car, I guess. We are beating the hell out of that stereo pretty much. And did not care. Got the stereo out, didn't care. Unplugged it, didn't care. Started afterwards and everything. But no, messed with the fuse box and she goes a fit. Doesn't want to start.
Feed her towards me.
Hmm?
Feed her towards the bottom.
That look good?
Yeah. Nope, not now. Curve the bottom to the right. No, not that much. To the left. Right there. And in the middle. Then when you get the air bubbles out of it, start at the center and just spread out to the edges.
This one's going on a lot smoother. I think that one was more rough, honestly.
Thanks. Too.
I think maybe if you guys buy your own, don't get ones that are so rough, because that one was pretty rough. And it didn't
Or
want
if you
to
do, just sand it down a little.
right. Like he proposed that we did. He was right about one thing today, I guess.
I was right about everything. That amp is perfect.
Yeah, the amp.
And it looks pretty.
So, long story short, I guess we were putting subs in my car. We're waiting on this to dry. Putting subs in my SUV. 2006 Ford Escape. Putting subs in it. And we were putting a switch so that you can turn on and off the amp. Well, he's going to the fuse box, passenger, floorboard. Or not floorboard, but side panel, I guess. And was looking for a fuse that would turn off when turn the car off. Well, I had it the ignition on, that way we knew if it would work or not. Well, touches a wire to the fuse and goes kaplooey, like fuse blows. Well, I asked him, because he didn't realize that anything had happened until I asked him. I was like, what did you do to my car? He goes, what do you mean? I was like, I have nothing. It won't start. I have nothing. We got to my boyfriend's house at 1, started on it. What time did Jamie come get us? Like 7:30? 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time for dinner.
I was starving. So, then, call his neighbor, see what he thought happened. So either we fried the chip in my key or anti-theft system came on, and yeah. Can't shift it, can't do anything in anti-theft. Call a tow truck. He had fun with that. You can tell that part of the story if you want.
Customer service people suck.
Hey, I have great customer service.
Well, when they work for another company and the company that they work for does something semi sort of technical and you're working for them and you don't know which end of a tow truck you're driving, you should be taking calls. So anyway, called for the service, told me service would be on its way. We all know that takes hours. Half hour later, calls me back to ask me more questions.
That she had already asked.
Still hasn't even sent the tow truck. Answered those questions that I'd already answered. A little bit later, she called back one more time to ask me how big the garage was. Like, yeah, I'm going to call you to send a tow truck to back into a parking garage or something. So anyway, after she done pissed me off, talked to her manager, I'm having a whole different company tow it, and they're just going to pay for it.
Yep.
Don't piss me off.
Yep. So, oh, by the way, Cody Snapchats me, and he goes, your whole car fiasco has the whole driveway a clusterfuck. Cody gets a hold of me and he's told me that because normally his mom and his grandma park in the garage. Well, I'm half-assed parked in the garage. Can't close the garage door because we still had to make sure we could get the hatch open to be able to put the subs in there and stuff. So, can't close the garage door. I'm parked in the middle, so you can't get another car in there. So his grandma is parked on. They have two entrances to their driveway. So she came in this way, and she's parked like this. And then his mom pulls in like this. And Cody normally backs in over here, but he couldn't. There's not enough room for him to back in there. So yeah, he wasn't too happy. So yeah, pretty much got to take SUV to the dealership to be able to fix that.
Yeah, they have to, one of two, or maybe even two of two things, they have to reprogram or completely make a new key with a new chip or the transponder, and then you have to have the dealer unlock codes to unlock the anti-theft mechanism.
Yeah, it's great. So guess who has to get up early to take me to work in the morning?
Your boyfriend.
You. Because you did it.
So let's lather that one up. I think we're good.
I thought we had to sand it first.
And go sand that corner up. So now we're going to sand the edges so it looks like it's part of the wood. We'll see how it goes with the hand sander.
Is that even working? Do you have any electric sander? Should we do that?
See it first before we do that.
I just really don't want to mess it up.
You don't think the electric sander is going to be more of a danger?
Well, but you don't have to sit there and rub on it with an electric one. You just literally put it on there. Maybe it'll go faster. Pretty much what you want to do when you're sanding is you want to get it, you're taking the picture part off and making the edges white, so it kind of fades from the wood to the white, or from the wood to the picture. So it looks like it's,
it in.
yeah. So you don't have that rough, straight edge. And then you'll Mod Podge over it, because as I said before, it dries clear, and it's matte, so it'll take the shine away from the picture, and it'll seal those edges too.
That actually came out pretty good.
Yeah, I did. I do a little bit more.
She would.
Because there's still a little bit of red. So yeah, you're pretty much, like you said earlier, they do some where they Mod Podge it down and you take the ink of the picture off and you rub off the back. Well, what you're doing here, to get it to be less of a straight from wood picture, straight edge, you're taking the front of the picture off, the ink off, and you're pretty much just left with the paper on the back of the picture. He's standing off my arm right now.
You just want to sand the edges. You don't want to sand over the picture itself. Just the very edge to blend it.
And if you have any like edges that either come up, like corners, anything like that, don't worry about it. If you want to, you can sand it off, or when you go back over it with the Mod Podge, it'll seal it back down. That's why you go over it again. And sanding is completely optional. If you like the look from, you know, that there's a picture on there, you can completely leave that and Mod Podge over it. But like I said, I like the more, I guess you could call it like a rustic look. And I would do little bits at a time because you can always take more off, but you can't put back on what you took off. So start with a little bit. If you want more, go a little bit more until you like it.
After sanding it, make sure you wipe all the dust and everything off it before you put the Mod Podge on top of that.
Because it is a sealer, so whatever's on there is what you'll be stuck with.
It gets to stay with it.
Forever.
And you try not to wipe it off into your glue.
Sorry.
All the cleaning and dusting, you get to smear some more stuff on it. Throw in some more white glue on your plate.
Okay.
Or if you could just use Elmer's glue and just water it down like 50%.
I don't know.
Something you could try. Right now.
Stop it. And it does dry down clear, but I would say try to just go the same way with it. Make it look even. Just who knows, you could have blotchiness and then you get mad at us. You tell us, well, you said it dries clear.
And then how many coats you put on, it's really a personal preference.
Right.
If one does what you need, you don't need to do any more. If you need 5 or 6 coats, that's a little excessive, but it won't hurt anything. Now, do you want to do your edges?
Seal them?
Yeah.
No.
And again, that's just your preference, if you do or don't. Either way, these are about 1 inch thick. So the top's going to have, it's going to be like a little shelf for dust.
So dust your pictures. If you want. I really don't care. This is what it will look like after you're done Mod Podging the top, or the top of it. And we'll obviously show you what it looks like when it's done. How much you sand off, where you place it, whether you do a collage or one picture, it's all personal preference. This is just like how to do it. So, and in the end, I've seen ones that you can accessorize them. You can put like a ribbon with a bow or a flower or whatever on the corners. You can pretty much do whatever you want to customize it. And if you get one, like a canvas, like, or yeah, just a canvas, whatever you want to call this, like one of these, ours came with this little rope, and it was actually hanging like this, so it was up like this, but this picture's printed this way. Yeah, there you go. So we just took this off, stapled it back on.
You can adjust them pretty much any way you want to make them.
Honestly, now that I found out how easy this is, I'm probably going to be doing it a lot more. I guess I should say we.
Yes.
You love it.
And wipe off the stuff not into your glue.
Why, you didn't like digging through it? He's grounding me from the glue.
It's dirty. Then you get all that stuff she's wiping off in the glue, and then you just put it back on and glue it in. One's still, all you can see there, it's still drying. Now you can take a hair dryer or just kind of fan it in the air. You just need it to dry. After you do the first coat, just kind of look at it. If there's any raised edges, and there really shouldn't be after sanding. If you don't sand, obviously there might be some. But if you don't think it's thick enough, or if you just want to put another layer on for extra sealing or protection, you can. It's just really all comes down to your preference. You do want to let it completely dry before you add, because
It'll be tacky and
yeah,
like glue.
you just want it dry, and that way when you actually put on another layer, it's actually another layer, not mixing into the current layer.
Okay, so we got a little bit impatient and we blow dried it. So this is what it looks like after the first coat of Mod Podge on it.
It's not 100% dry. You can see some white still,
I can.
but there's a little bit here and there. But you don't want it tacky or sticky to your touch at all. You want to be able to touch it and be good.
So the first coat that we did is pretty much making it flush and sealing up, the smaller spots and halfway sealing those bigger spots. So the second coat that we're going to do is going to make it pretty much flush, and it's going to finish sealing up those bigger spots. What we found is make sure to get it as evenly distributed as you can, and honestly you don't have to go super thick. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to put the second coat on.
If you do go thicker, it just means you got to wait longer for it to dry.
Pretty dirty.
And then the final coat, you definitely want to let it dry at least 24 hours. Take another look. You can still add another layer if you think you need to at that point. But before you actually hang it or put it up somewhere, you want to keep it still kind of dust free until you actually dry overnight.
Okay, so I did a little bit thinner of a second coat just because it didn't need it a whole bunch. But this is what it's going to look like after you get that second coat done.
Still wet.
Yep. We'll go ahead and we'll do the second coat of this one.
And then we'll pretty much just let these sit overnight. We'll look at them again tomorrow, but unless we see something, really bad, we probably won't do another layer, I don't think.
No, I think they're turning out pretty good. The second layer is kind of just like a precautionary layer, honestly. And on the edges where the picture doesn't lay perfectly flush, go like against the edge of the picture, and it'll kind of just fill that in.
Oh, you mean towards it?
Yeah, towards the edge of the picture, and then it'll go not underneath the picture, but it'll fill in that gap.
Especially if you didn't sand. That would
Yeah.
really fill that in. You may not even need to sand, really. You're going to have to experiment with that, not sanding at all, and just put a layer on and actually just let it sit for a day or so. Put a second layer on and see how good or what difference that makes, if any.
Don't vape on the canvas!
Not pizza. And yes, I am on the Greek vape. Aegis, the baby beast. And I am on, what juice are we on today? Lava Pop. Strawberry, pineapple, orange, and popsicle.
Want some popsicles?
She's still in her smock alien.
Yep. And I'm actually on a new juice today too. Blueberry pomegranate.
There you go. Okay, hold back.
Stop rushing. Here's what this one looks like so far. You can still see some of the white. It's not completely dry, but it's getting there. And this one's a little bit of a darker picture, so you can kind of see where it's still needs to dry. But yeah, now we'll be back after they're fully dried. Okay, so they're not 100% dry, but I'd say they're like 99%, 99.99999% dry. So, just going to show you guys the finished product. That's what that one looks like. So it's still kind of shiny, but I think it looks pretty nice. That's the one for my mom. And one for Cody's mom. I think hers is actually pretty much dry.
Yeah, there's still some white in the left corner there.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
still got a little bit.
but that's how you do that.
The gist of it.
Pretty much.
Not that you can see him.
Oh. Okay, the camera's backwards, okay? Sorry. There you go. So yeah. So thanks for watching. Anything else?
There's going to be lots of
More odd?
lots of more odd and ends. Who knows what we might do. We'll still be vaping though.
Yeah.
So if you're interested to see where it goes, like and subscribe. You can make two girls very happy.
Okay, see you guys later. I'm going to bed.
With your Mod Podging abilities.
Do 43 in the morning. Can't see it, never mind.
Nobody can see that.
Okay, I'm going to bed.
You can do as you miss.
You leaving it for you.
She leaves me the mess. Typical woman.
Yep.
Has her fun and leaves the mess.
Yep.